For the past few years, whenever someone asked me what my greatest fear was, I would answer complacency. And that hasn't changed. So that's exactly what we're talking about today. And maybe more specifically, when does comfort become complacency? Because I think it's important to make that distinction. There's nothing wrong with comfort or feeling comfortable. That's obviously a very important basic human need for us to feel comfortable in our home, in our work environment, in our relationships. The moment I think comfortability becomes complacency is when comfort is met with stagnation, or if comfort is met with any hindrance of your growth. And I guess that's really the core of this video, is how to recognize when that is happening in your own life. This is timely for me because I've gotten comfortable in my current job, and I know that it's super important that I make some sort of change so I don't get stuck here, that I don't get stagnant. Just a little background. I went to film school, and now I currently work as a corporate videographer full-time, and this is actually my second corporate videographer job that I've had, and I mainly took these positions because I graduated, like a lot of people, with thousands of dollars in student debt. And though I'm thankful that I took these jobs, and they've helped me pay down that debt to a point where it's not completely overwhelming and just a big burden on myself, I know that ultimately that's why I took these jobs, because they were safe, because they would help me pay off the debt sooner rather than trying to do something more high risk, aka move to LA or become a freelancer. But I know that I can't stay here. Otherwise, my fear is that I will just follow this path and never actually take the leap to what I actually want to do as a filmmaker, as a storyteller. And as I mentioned earlier, when you feel that comfortability being met with stagnation, being met with a hindrance of growth, it is a big sign that you need to make a change. And from my little rant that I just did right now, you probably have guessed that the change I want to make is that I am thinking of leaving my job. Rather, I have already written out a plan on how and when I'm going to quit my position as a corporate videographer. And it's scary. It is scary, but I think that is a big component in fighting, in escaping complacency, is knowing that the moment you feel too comfortable, the moment you feel like there's not much more growth you can do in your current environment, that may be your opportunity to jump. And you don't have to do it overnight. I want to also make it clear that it's a very personal thing, and I think it's really just comes down to a gut feeling, and there's no like concrete signs that will tell you like you need to make a change, you need to leave, or whatever. You'll just kind of know. I think what the challenging part is taking action, taking concrete steps to make that change. And again, as I said, it doesn't have to be anything huge, or it may be a big leap. And I also want to make a point to say that this is not the first time that I've been in a place like this where I got comfortable and I realized that I needed to make a change in order to realign what I was doing with what I actually wanted to do. One of the big ones being in college, I started out as a graphic design major. As a junior, I decided to change my major to film. And that was so scary to think that I would have to do more school. But in the end, I am so glad I did. But that's one example. Another is when I was at my previous position, knowing that was a little bit of a different situation. It wasn't a healthy situation for me. So that's when I knew it was time to move on. And this one is it's almost more difficult. In fact, I know it's more difficult because, again, I acknowledge how good I have it. And as I said, I'm grateful, and I can't express that enough, but knowing that I'm still young enough, I don't have anyone depending on me, I don't have children or anything. So if I'm gonna take bigger risks right now is the time to do it. And that's also something that you'll probably have to consider, because I know not everyone has the privilege or the luxury or the same situation where they can just leave a good paying job to pursue something a little bit more risky. But in interest of time, I think ultimately I just want to make this for those of you who may be in a similar place where you kind of know it's time to move on to the next thing, move on to better things. And I know how scary it is. But again, thinking about to every time I've been in a similar position where I knew I had to take a leap of faith, as you will, it always worked out in the end. Of course, there was fear and there was discomfort and there was uncertainty, but when I got to the other side, when I got through this discomfort, it brought me to a place, it helped me meet people, and just ultimately I knew it was me honoring myself and what I wanted at that moment in that period of my life. And that's just what I'm doing now. It's different every time, but I think the most important thing is that you take steps towards making whatever change you see fit for yourself. Alright, YouTube, I'm Marissa Roxas. I'm a filmmaker from San Diego, California, and I hope to help you make time for what matters most to you. Alright, until next time, take care. I did it! I don't know if that made sense. Was that even recording? Okay, it was.